Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Doc Skinner with 1028 Live here on day 2 of the Sholo International Film Festival here in Pine Top Lakeside, Arizona at the WME Theater. Now, if you don't know about it or haven't seen the other interviews, let me tell you, you want to get up here and check out these movie blocks, some amazing films, and we have some amazing filmmakers here. Another great thing that we do that you don't normally get to do when you go to a movie theater is when you're watching a film, you might have questions or you're like, why did she do that or why did he do that? And you want to know. Well, we give you the opportunity to actually speak to the writers or the directors or the actors of that film, and they answer questions right there on the spot. So that right there is worth the pass admission price. So one of the amazing filmmakers that we have here for the weekend is Nicole Ameliocasper. How are you today?
Good, I'm good.
Good.
Thanks.
And you're here with the film The Journey Back to Normal.
Yes,
Excellent.
I am, yes.
And is this a short? Or
This is a feature documentary.
okay.
Yeah, so it's 1 hour. And basically, it highlights complementary therapies for veterans and others who are having some issues. And the complementary therapies are not out of the ordinary. They just augment what traditional therapy actually. Oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. Can you edit that?
Yeah. We can go back. So basically, it's different types of therapy. For example, soldiers with PTSD that have come back, things like traumatic brain injuries, and these are different forms of therapies that might not be widely known.
Yes, I mean, they are definitely becoming more well-known. I filmed in 2016, and the process obviously takes a while. So through this journey, a lot more complementary therapies have emerged. So what's highlighted in the film is really nothing out of the ordinary. But I was very, very curious about equine therapy, so it definitely highlights equine therapy, and then a few more. And there's actually one therapy within the film that will definitely surprise the audience.
Excellent. Well, of course, equine therapy is working with horses.
Yes.
And that working with animals, they've come to find, is a very good form of therapy. Now, you say complementary. Is that the word you're using?
Yes.
So this is free of charge to these veterans and these patients?
A lot of the programs, they are free. So the nonprofits that are highlighted in the film are mostly in the Midwest, because my husband was also in the military. We were stationed at Fort Leavenworth.
Okay.
And so 3 nonprofits are in the Midwest, and all of those programs offer free services for veterans and even first responders, and they have other groups as well. Anyone really dealing with trauma, these therapies have proven to be very effective.
Yes.
There's several university studies that are highlighted in the film, but even more so now, today, in 2019, a lot of universities are embarking on this research to study therapies that are really just really overwhelmingly effective. And the VA wants that substantive research, so then they can provide more resources and they can work collectively with these nonprofits, because the VA obviously wants our heroes to get better, and then even people that are active duty. They really, really want to support them, and also that stigma needs to cease, because PTSD, it's the reality. Since probably the beginning of time. But people just have started talking about it in the past 10 years or so, and really wanting to tackle the issues that men and women are dealing with. And it's a personal issue for me, because family members, my best friends who are women, came back dealing with PTSD. So I wanted to use my talent and skills to show
A light on that.
Yes, and they do not need to go the traditional route, because talk therapy doesn't really work for everyone.
Sitting in circles, drinking coffee, and that's why these alternative complementary therapies, as you call it, are such an amazing, and it should be common sense. Just if someone's having a bad day, or something's not, or they're sad, you put a baby in their arms, they're going to cheer up, or a puppy. it should be common sense, but I think certain other powers that be want to make a dollar here and there doing it other ways.
Yes, and medication and the opioid crisis is definitely part of that way to counteract certain symptoms. So it just sometimes just doesn't work. They are given a plethora of drugs and they said, okay, go back to war,
Yeah.
or go back to work, or whatever the
And then
situation.
there's zombie at work, yeah.
Completely, and it's destroyed marriages. It's destroyed lives.
Yeah.
So I recently met somebody in Philadelphia who was on a photo shoot. I was doing my creative aspect of my career, and he revealed to me after I just told him, oh yeah, I was in the military community for 20 years. He's like, oh yeah, I was in the military, and he just divulged everything that happened to him when he was a Marine.
Yeah.
So he went through prolonged exposure therapy, and it's something where, again, a VA therapist said, this is what you need to do to overcome your trauma. He saw 17 of his men die in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you make that nightmare go away?
Yeah.
So anyway, it actually did desensitize him over a whole year. So yes, he went through some trauma, even getting over, just going through this prolonged exposure therapy. But if he knew about equine therapy or different therapies, yoga therapy, meditation therapy, dog therapy,
yeah.
he may not have had to go through that. And I had told him, I was like, you should see my film. So I wasn't trying to push my film on him, but I was like, I definitely want to. So. And that's just not the only story that I've heard over the past several years. So it's since 2003. When they went, March 2003, we were at Fort Campbell. My husband was with the 101st. They had no idea what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And, all the spouses, were, on the other side of the pond saying, oh my gosh, I need some Prozac. So anyway,
Yeah. Well,
fast forward 18 years. Yeah.
and now you have this amazing film.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for putting something like this together. I've worked with Operation Rock the Troops out of Dallas, and we would work with traumatic brain injuries and PTSD. And so I'm very close to this as well. Also being a victim of PTSD and stuff, it's an important topic. It's not one everybody likes to talk about, but there's a lot of topics that are uncomfortable that need to be discussed.
Completely. And I definitely want to stress that it is, even though we do talk about PTSD, it's a hope-filled film. So it's more positive rather than, oh my gosh, I don't want to go see this film. It might be depressing, but it's really not. It's really, it provides hope.
Yeah, inspiration, uplifting, and educating.
Yes,
So,
and there's some funny parts in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Nicole, thank you so much. Welcome to the mountain.
Thank you so much.
And enjoy the rest of these films.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, folks, get your passes now here for the Sholo International Film Festival at the WME Theater in Lakeside, Arizona now. Until then, I will see you at the movies.